Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. I just made a video showing you folks some of the cutting tools my father used the most when we shared many a trip out into the field. And I thought maybe I would make another video and show you the stuff that I started out with, the cutting tools that I started out with as a young boy, all the way up until I started getting old enough to buy my own knives. So basically it comes down to just a couple of items. I had a hatchet, and this was the Hatchet. It's a Hudson Bay design from Norland, and hopefully that shows up. And I don't know how Norland stacks up with some of the knife axe manufacturers of today, but I have quite a few Norland axes, and I found them to be very high quality. And you know, I had to have this hatchet specifically because you know the handle was much thinner. Now this is one that I've had to put on because I ran out of handles when trying to throw it like a tomahawk. But that's the reason why I wanted this hatchet so much, is that the head shape reminded me of a tomahawk. And finally, when Dad thought I was old enough to begin to learn a little something about chopping, he bought me this hatchet, and I've carried it with me for many a trip. Now, basically I had two fixed blade knives until I was old enough to start buying knives on my own. The first knife that my father bought for me for using out in the field was this knife right here. This is made from Craftsman, and it says Craftsman USA on there. Hopefully that shows up right up here. And it's a very, very thin stock. I don't know what kind of steel they used in this knife, but it has to be some pretty good stuff, because I can't tell you how many trees I've tried to stick this thing in, and all the different cutting tasks that I've done when I was young. But anyway, this has turned out to be quite a durable knife, and it's a very, very thin blade. Now, this was obviously a rather inexpensive knife. It doesn't have a full tang, but as you can see how it is staked into the back here, it's pretty wide, and thank God, because it is very thin. Now, I never really tried to do much prying with this knife, obviously, and it has a stacked leather handle. But all in all, oh man, me and this knife has been on many an adventure when I was a young man. When I was a young teenager, my dad added a second fixed blade knife, and it was a skinning knife. And this is it right here. This knife here, again, an inexpensive knife. It says LM Dixon stainless razor blade. It doesn't say what kind of stainless steel that it is. The only other has an etching mark on the back that says Japan. You can see that it is a full tang knife construction, but it is definitely set up to be a skinner. Okay, and quite often I carried this this knife into the woods, especially during hunting season. And basically, I only had a couple of pocket knives, but I did have a couple pocket knives, and both of them were used knives that my dad gave me. If I carried the skinning knife, to complement the skinning knife, I carried a little bit more robust pocket knife, and that's this Case Sod Buster, which is a slip joint knife, and a very inexpensive knife back then, and it's continued to be more of an inexpensive, affordable line today. But really, it's turned out to be a very good folder. It's a knife that I've used quite a bit in the field for many, many, many years. The other knife was this large trapper from Case. Once again, both knives have stainless steel blades. They're Case XX stainless steel. And as you can see from this trapper, it has a very, very fine clip point blade and a spade blade. And this fine clip point blade right here has a little bit of flexibility to it, and it's cleaned a many a fish. It's filleted a many a fish. It's cleaned many a squirrel and rabbit and things of that nature. And this is a pocket knife that I carried with me if I had if I carried this knife into the field. My father taught me very early on that whatever cutting tools you decide to bring with you, you try to make those cutting tools complement one another and sort of pick up the slack of what another cutting tool may not be able to do as well. So that's been a running theme in my videos talking about knives, and you can see from the examples that I had to use with that I incorporated that at a very young age. With that, thank you for watching my videos. I certainly appreciate it, and remember to shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.